Now, as y'all know, usually when I have these revelations, I would pop up on Facebook Live, share it, and everything like that. But since September 10th, I have not been able to do any Facebook live streams. They have not responded to me, and I don't think they intend to. So it's cool. I really honestly don't have time for the bullshit, shenanigans, and censorship of Facebook and TikTok and all these mediocre ass apps who try to shadow ban and have been shadow banning me for some time. So, of course, it's partially frustrating, but I do believe that my message gets out to those who it needs to get out to. And plus, I'm going to be sleepy as hell in the morning, so I'm going to make this quick. This is a time of unmasking, and I feel it very, very deeply in my spirit. What do I mean by that? Now, you want to make sure you listen to the whole thing. Some of you would say that you were a scapegoat in your family. Some of you would say that you were misunderstood or that you just weren't given an opportunity to truly feel seen. And so sometimes just because you're loud and you make noise and you call attention to you doesn't mean you feel seen. You don't feel seen, you don't feel heard. And I can attest to that. And there's a multi-pronged reason why this happened for me. And this has happened to many Black women. The first thing is, under the system of patriarchy, as Black women, we run parallel to Black men. Black men have been made submissive men in the patriarchy. They do not talk about it, they will not accept it, and they will not deal with it directly and head on. I have been talking to men in intellectual circles and otherwise for about 10 years now. And the common thread between them is absolute denial. You can even tell by the way some of the more prominent Black men voted in this particular election that they're really very confused about their identity as a whole. You can't walk around saying you're pro-Black, and then when someone gives you a billionaire white supremacist, you choose that over a Black presenting woman. Make it the fuck make sense. There's nothing that you can say that will ever justify that. Oh, she's Indian. Oh, she was part of the group in the Pizzagate. What in the fuck do you think this is right here? So again, there's some cracks in their identity, okay? And so we cannot expect them to fully embrace, the accountability required in order for them to make their way out of being the most submissive men. They can't do it because what's covering them is shame. And what you are going to find today about the unmasking is a lot of the people that cannot face their demons are deeply mired in shame. Whether they got it from the overall society, like Black men, or they got it from some parental figure who simply didn't make them feel seen or didn't have the bandwidth or the emotional knowledge to make them feel seen. Okay. You know, the kind of parent that as soon as you ask a question, they slapping you in the mouth and telling you too grown. The type of parent who acts as if your emotions were just an inconvenience for them. The type of parent who had very high expectations of you, but very low expectations of your siblings. Yes, as Black women, that is a common theme, right? But when you deal with that, especially during the ages that we grew up in as millennials and later Gen Xers, millennials, maybe a Gen Z in here, I don't know, but I highly doubt that. So we grew up during the crack epidemic. We grew up during a crime bill. There was a lot of very devastating situations. It was almost like a Black Holocaust. Nobody sees it that way. And recovering lost parts of ourselves is what the journey that we have been on as a community for a really long time. Now, I think that Black men are stumbling and fumbling, but I think that Black women have found a road. But we'll get into that type of comparison and why that might be important another time. But just know that a lot of what is covering a lot of people from facing their demons, facing the things that they feel may be undesirable, is shame. And somewhere along the line, you felt in order for you to be accepted, you had to change the core of who you are. And when the parts of you that was not accepted came out, you learned to stuff it in because you feared some sort of punishment, some sort of corporal punishment, or you fear being made fun of, or you fear being ostracized, and all of those things. Okay? With that being said, my journey has been a long one because every time I thought that I had leveled up and removed a layer from me, I realized that there were more things that I was afraid to allow to come to the surface. I started my law of attraction journey in 2009. I had no idea it was going to lead me to the path of studying pantheons like Ifa and Kemetic science and alchemy. Okay. All I wanted was to manifest a good job, a good man, some kids, and some money. I did not know that I would be led down the path to healing my trauma, healing generational trauma, becoming more authentic and grounded, then finally getting free and motherfuckers being mad at me because I'm free. Motherfuckers are mad at me because I'm free and they're not. Now, I recall very vividly over the last decade, I've been very vocal about my journey, and a lot of niggas laughed at me. I told them about the pain body. I told them about healing the wounded inner child. Everything was a motherfucking joke, right? Everything was seen as some sort of, oh, you're just so over the top. You're just so weird. And let's fast forward the tape to where we are right now. A lot of people who ran from that type of very deep inner work, when they visibly had the time to actually do that kind of deep diving into their childhood to recover lost parts of themselves, are now sitting around angry, looking at somebody that they admire and hating that person at the same time. And I can feel the tension around me. Just because all of that suppressing parts of yourself to make others happy creates a very underdeveloped version of yourself, a shell of who you could be, right? And it also prevents you from fully loving yourself. So when you deny yourself love and when you betray yourself, you're going to constantly attract people who do the same shit. Because see, once you truly love yourself, ain't no amount of good looks, good dick gonna make you say, nah, I just the good looks and the good dick, I'm just gonna be a fool for that. I'm gonna be a fool for these good looks, this good dick, and this good money. Now the money, but understand that when we're talking about money, we playing a game. Okay, that's when you get your sprinkle on. That's when you get your seductress on. Okay, so they're not dealing with the real you anyway. But to my point, you're not going to want to be around someone that does not appreciate you for you. You give up a lot of that people pleasing shit. So the reason why I'm talking about the unmasking is because a lot of people no longer can successfully hide that part of them that they are ashamed of. And it's coming out in more ways than one. It's coming out in the wickedness that we see coming from the top. It's also coming out in the wickedness that we see inside Blackistan, internal family disorders and dysfunction, all of that. And it can't be hidden because we are in the age of Aquarius right now. And the astrological and energetic and spiritual conditions require things to be unseen, unmasked. So that ugly part of you that you were able to hide real well in the Taurus, what was that, the Piscean era, which was right before, the Piscean era, and hell, even the Taurus era, you can't do that shit in the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius, spiritual encoding will not allow it. So now a lot of people are stuck with dealing with that demon within that they denied for so long. And really, it ain't so much a demon, it's the unloved parts of you. The parts that you have abandoned, the parts that you have left, and the parts that you don't want to see because you manufactured a personality that would help you survive. But you would have found all that had you gave a damn about the pain body, Eckhart Tolle. Had you gave a damn about shadow work, Carl Jung. You can look it up. Had you gave a damn about recovering parts of your wounded inner child and not thought everything was so fucking funny. That type of shit blow me about niggas. Everything over their head is a fucking joke. When I was talking to niggas about what was going on in the Trump administration, everything was a fucking joke. And it really blew me because it's like now that they in Chicago whooping up on everybody's asses and it's close to home, now you niggas get it. Now that they gutting up the government and niggas you losing their good government jobs, now you niggas get it. You know why you didn't get it before? Because you lack empathy. You lack empathy and you want to pretty much escape the darkness. The same way your motherfuckers escape working on your inner child is the same fucking way you're going to escape the reality of what's going on here out here. Now, I am going to say that I'm happy that a lot of people are finally opening their eyes. But why do everything got to be a fucking joke beforehand? Everything's not a fucking joke. But we make it a fucking joke because we don't want to own the process. We want to depend on somebody else to be the answer for us, to find it in a relationship, to find it in a job, to find it in children. God forbid these broken ass adults having children so that these children can fill up their emptiness and their voids. Lord have mercy. Just a mess. But I say all that to say that yes, I'm a spiritualist. And yes, I have a deep understanding, but I'm going to keep it all the way to fucking a buck with y'all. Motherfuckers is becoming undone because they didn't do the inner work. They wanted to play around. They wanted to fuck around. And now they finding out. Now the very people that you thought was a joke in a game, you're starting to see things in their life line up because they went through the drudgery and the misery to get to where they are now. Don't you dare put your fucking negative energy on them. Especially a person like me, who is a person who blasted it out to the world. This is what I'm doing. This is how I'm doing it. This is what I'm doing. And everybody was kikiing and laughing and getting a good old joke behind my back. Now who's laughing now? And I deserve to laugh too. Oh, well, we didn't know. Well, shit, I'm still gonna laugh. Fuck. But I just hate the energy. Like ain't nobody told y'all niggas that this shit was coming. Y'all think y'all got the right to choose who the messenger is. No, you got the right to pray upon it and see if that messenger is aligned and the right messenger for you. But see, y'all choose with your ego, not y'all, but folk like to choose with their ego and be like, oh no, that ain't the person that's part of the cool crowd, so we ain't gonna listen to them. You're silly. You think you in high school. You think this is an episode of Mean Girls, okay? One of them little silly ass cheerleading movies or something. You're still a child in your mind. And you know why you're still a child in your mind? Because you ain't did no goddamn inner childhood work. So I say all that to say, to the ones who have went through that transformative process, this shit finna start paying off right here and right now. I know it, and I've never said that before, so you know I got some intel coming in, even though my ass finna be sleepy today. I'm telling you, be careful, because people finna start seeing you winning consistently, and they're gonna have a problem with that. Oh, they're gonna have a problem with that. But all of the mountain of drudgery that you've been through, all of the pain, all of the dealing with your deep shame and loving the dark parts of yourself, they thought you was a fool. They thought you was wasting time. And even if they thought you was cool, what you was doing was interesting, they didn't have the courage to say it around in group settings or behind your back. So now they get to deal with their shit front and center. And what I will tell y'all is, do not allow these people to project onto you. And unlike that old Christian philosophy, well, finally you came and you see, fuck them fucking people. Okay? Bounce the ball right back in their court. It is time for them to choose to go get therapy. It is time for them to choose to do the inner work, deep inner work, not spiritual bypassing and just trying to feel positive. You know how people do that toxic positivity. It is time for them to sit with themselves and truly embrace transformation. So if you feel the heat on you, baby, you're doing something right. Keep on winning, because you work for this and you deserve this. I deserve this. Now I'm about to go and get me some coffee. I'll holler at you.